Hey guys, welcome back to Grandview Kids TV episode number 9. Now, today I want to talk to you about something that I struggle with, and maybe you struggle with it too, and that's praying. See, oftentimes I'll go through a whole day and I'll forget to be praying during the day, and I'll either forget or while I'm praying I'll get distracted, and my mind will start wandering to all sorts of different things. But I want to share today with you something we talked about back in the fall in Sunday school, and I wanted to remind you about that. Then I have a challenge for you at the end of the episode, so stick around to hear what that challenge is. Now, what we talked about was an acronym, 4 letters that stood for 4 words. I don't know if you remember what they are, but they were ACTS, A.C.T.S. Now, these 4 letters represent 4 words that have to do with different kinds of prayer, different ways we can be praying. The first one is A, and that stands for adoration. And adoration, when praying, is simply worshiping God, worshiping Him for who He is, because He is holy, He's wonderful, He's great. So we can be worshiping God. And that's something we did at Kids Club. If you went to Kids Club, you'll remember. Sometimes we would all speak words of worship to God. And that's what adoration is. We're adoring God for who He is and worshiping Him. So that's A. And the next one is C. And C stands for confession. In confession, it's often a hard one to do because it involves us messing up. It involves us sinning against God, and it has us going to God and asking for forgiveness, saying, God, we're sorry we did this. I'm sorry I did this. Please forgive me. I confess my sins. In confession, while you can do it in prayer and should do it in prayer with God, you can also do it with each other. You can share with your parents or a sibling or a friend. You can share something you're struggling with, a sin you might be struggling with, and you can confess your sins to each other, the Bible tells us. And that can be useful as well. So A is for adoration, worshiping God. C is confession. And T, it's thanksgiving. In that one, it's the most self-explanatory, the easiest one to remember what it means, because it simply means exactly that, thanksgiving. You're thanking God for the things He's done, the things He's going to do, and what He is doing. You're thanking God for what He's provided your family with, whatever it might be. Anything we have is from God. So it can be pretty easy at times to find something to thank God for. All right, so that's T, thanksgiving. And S, the final one, is supplication. Now that's a big word. And to boil it down, to simplify it to what it really means, is to ask God for things. And whether it's things or different aspects of life, it can be asking for health. It can be asking Him to heal someone who might be sick. For those who are sick right now around the world, it could be asking God to heal them. It could be asking God to provide for your family, whatever it might be. It's asking God and requesting something of God. And remember, God says He will answer our prayers. He will hear our prayers. But if we want what we're asking for, we need to make sure it lines up with God's will. See, Jesus told us in the Lord's Prayer, He tells us this is how we should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Holy be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And that's just the beginning of the prayer. But it really shows what all our prayers should be. We should be asking God to do His will, to do what He wants on earth, not what we want. But we can also ask God to make our desires line up with what He wants. Now, the challenge. I told you I had a challenge for you, and here it is. My challenge for you this coming week, up until our next video next Friday, see if you can remember to pray at least one time every day. Make a point to pray. Maybe you'll have to put a reminder somewhere, like a sticky note or a piece of paper somewhere you'll see it. And try to remember to pray. Now, something's important to remember. 2 things about prayer. One, it's not just a box to check. We're not just praying so we can say, oh, I prayed on Monday, done. It's something that we do to grow closer to God, to build our relationship with God, and to become stronger in our faith and our trust of Him. And the second thing, it's that our prayers don't have to be anything fancy. They can be simple. They don't have to be all four of adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication. They can be one or two of those. It might even be something else. But remember, your prayer doesn't have to be fancy. Fancy words are not what will make God hear our prayers. So that's something for you guys today as you live your lives out at home. So prayer is the main point here. Try to remember acts: adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication. All right, I'll see you guys next week.